Good morning, this is Kathy, Crowder's Mountain. Are you guys ready to make a Grinch Hand Barn Quilt? This is the one that we're going to make today. And let me show you how I'm going to draw out the pattern. And I'll let you take a screenshot like I always do so that you can have the pattern for yourself. And along the way, I'll tell you what colors that I used. Okay, so this is the board that I start with. It's called MDO, and I've already put a coat of Kills 3 on it. And that Kills 3 is like a stain blocker and a sealer too. This is the way it looks like before I start doing anything to it. So you could see this piece was double-sided, so I could actually paint another barn quilt on the other side of it and flip it around, like if you were going to do like an occasional one, like maybe Thanksgiving on one side, Christmas on the other. Okay, so here we go. We'll start drawing our pattern. Now the first thing that we need to do is draw our grid, and if you can do it with measuring and that kind of thing, go ahead. Once you get the pattern, you could figure out how you want to draw it out, but I'm going to use a grid because it's just the easiest way for me to show you how I've designed this Grinch hand. Now, other folks have already designed other ones, but this is how I'm doing it. So, hang on. Alright, I'm putting a tick mark every 2 inches because we need 12 blocks horizontally and 12 blocks vertically. So, I'm going to go all the way around, making these tick marks. So bear with me a minute. Let me get that. I'm always trying to check to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. This really is not that hard. It may be harder if you were trying to measure it, but when you're doing these tick marks, you get a good result actually. And it's a good beginner. A good beginning way to do it. Hey, it's late in the day. I've already lost my daylight. And I have to admit what I did. I already had this filmed. I went up to down, like uploaded into my editing software. Got it all in there. And you know how you have to kind of watch it and edit as you go and that kind of thing. Well, I didn't do a good job of keeping my big head out of the way. And every time I was trying to show you guys something about the pattern, here come my big old head right in the way. So I'm going to try to do my best this time to stay out of the camera. Okay? Alright, so we've got our tick marks all the way around every 2 inches. I'm going to do this in black. Ooh. And hold it down better than that so that you can see it. And I'll try to speed that part up if I can remember it. I'll try to speed it up. so you won't have to sit here and watch this part. Okay, there's our grid. We've got 12 blocks across and 12 blocks up. And now we're going to start drawing our pattern. Alright, I'm going to draw his arm in red so that you guys can see the different sections of the pattern. So the first thing that we need to do, let's count down 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going over to the middle. We're counting down 3 and over 1. And in the middle, we're just making a tick mark. And from the corner up there, we're just going from the corner to that tick mark. Alright. And now from that tick mark in the middle of that third block down, we want to count down 2.5. 1, 2.5. So about the middle of that block, we put another tick mark. Once you take a picture of this pattern, you can see exactly what I've done. Alright, now for the rest of his sleeve, let's count all the way over to the left here. The bottom, we're going to count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at this corner, we're going to put a line, diagonal line here in this block. Alright, now we're going to count over 2 more. So it'd be 3. 1, 2, 3. And up 3. 1, 2, 3. So in the corner of the top of that third block, and actually it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks up on the third row. We're marking a line. Alright, now that's the bottom. That's his little skinny elbow. Alright, let's go back to the middle of this block now. And we just want to go over 1 and go up 1. And we've got the sleeve drawn. Okay. Now let's draw his arm. Not his arm. We just got through drawing his arm. And see, all this is going to be red. Every bit of that. So now let's use this blue one just to outline the white sleeve. And all we're doing for that, we're just starting at number 3 at the top. 1, 2, 3. And making a tick mark there. We're going to go over and make another tick mark. Over 2 and make another tick mark. Now we want to go back to that tick mark and count down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to go over 2, make another tick mark. And that is his sleeve. I'm trying to keep my head out of this. Okay, you see that? You see that? That's his sleeve. But you know his little skinny arms coming out of there. So let's draw his hand and his arm. Alright. So you see where his sleeve's coming here? This is going to be white. But we're going to go to this block. Right up at the top of his sleeve. We're going to use that block. And go over one. Or go over one, then up one. But it's diagonally across from that other one. And that's going to be the start of his wrist. Alright. And then we're going to do the same way here. It is going to be same row, just skip one and put it on that one, which will be the second block down. It's kind of hard to see that blue, isn't it? Maybe I'll make it a little bit wider so you can see it. There you go. And because this line here is going to be part of his wrist, I'm not going to highlight that one again, because you won't need that one. You won't need that line, because that's going to be part of his hand. All right. Now, let's go start on that hand. And it's not really that bad. Like I said, I blocked it off so I could figure out a way to show you guys how to paint it. And so that's just always the way I paint them. I don't try to measure it, but you could. Now, I'm not telling you you can't, because you certainly can. Alright, we're just following this line, this diagonal line that we made, and we're just going to make another one at the top. Connect them together. Alright, and then we're going to go down, we're going to go over 1, 2, and down 3. No, over 2 and down 2. There you go. And connect that. All right, and then let's go back to the bottom of his wrist right here. And we're going to go over 2 and then down 1, 2. So here. Alright. Then let's draw his thumb. We're going from that tick mark down 1, 2 and over 1. Man, there you go. Make that a little bit darker. Okay, that's the bottom of his thumb. Now we just want to go over 2 and up at the top of that second block. We're going to draw the top of his thumb. Alright, from that point, we're going to go the middle of that block. So just from that point, just go to the middle of the next block. And then, no, and go up. Okay, let me tell you again. From that point, go over one and up to the top of the block and put a tick mark there. Many times if I've drawn that, I about to tell y'all wrong. And just from that tick mark down, just draw your line. All right, and then from that tick mark, we're going to go over one and down two to the very bottom right hand corner, and connect that. Connect those two. Alright, still with me? So we're going to stay on this row. So we've got our tick mark here, and we're going to go to the end of our pattern, down one all the way to the end, and just make a diagonal line across those three. Okay. You see this? So we had this tick mark here. We're going to go up and put another tick mark here. And that is the one that we're going to connect. The top of that little, that's his end, that's the pointing finger. Now, you see this one? See that mark? See that one? We're just going to connect these together. Okay. Look at us. We're almost through. All right. Now let's go back to the middle here. This is going to be the point that he's holding his ornament. So we've got to draw the inside of his hands. I'm saving them fingers for last. We're drawing the inside of his hand now. So all we're doing is at this block, we're going to this corner, like that, from that middle point. And let's see, draw that one. All right, now let's go back. Here's his wrist again. The bottom of his wrist. And we're going to go over one and up to the top of the next one. So right here, go over and then up. Can you see that? All right, now all we're going to do is connect those spots, tick marks, dots. And that's the inside of his hand. Now that's going to be black. The whatever you use for a background color, I use black. So that would be, on mine it's black. Okay. Now, let's draw those other fingers. So, at this mark, let me get you over here where you can see. I'm trying to keep you in the frame here. All right. here is the top of his hand, like his knuckles. And we're going to go all the way to the right hand side of our board. All the way into that corner. Alright, and here's what I did. I picked me a middle spot here. And then I put a tick mark here. And another one about midways here. So you're going to have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all we're going to do with them little fingers is connect our dots. And we're going to go from that. We're going to go to this third block down. See? And we're going to go to the bottom one, like go down one more. See? Look at us. We got our fingers. Alright. Now, let me show you how to draw the ornament. Okay, I'll put that lid back up. Now, if you have a circle tool, you can use that. By all means, use it if you have a circle tool. But as I've drawn these out, I think this is the 2nd or 3rd year I've been drawing this Grinch pattern near Christmas time. But I found that the top of this Tupperware, okay, I'm dating myself. The top of this Tupperware picture just sits right there, and it's the perfect circle for me. So I'm just going to put it, like, here's where he's going to hold it at. So I'm just going to put it where I think it will look good. And I'm just going to draw my circle. See there? Now, circle tools are fine. I mean, use that if you need to. Alright, and in here, all we're going to do here is just make a little triangle, and that's going to be where we put a little glitter to make it look like a shine, like a light bouncing off of our ornament. Alright, so for the top of the ornament, get another color so you can see it. Alright, for the top of the ornament, you see that mark that I made here in the middle? If you did that, you could use it. Just the way that I've got this position, that would work out. But just somewhere in the middle of the block, wherever you put your ornament, just go up about 1 inch or so and make you a triangle that's actually, well, it's not actually, it's going to be the top of the triangle, I guess. See, and that's going to be what holds the ornament. And then we're just going to draw us 2 lines going right up into there where he's got it pinched. See? There you go. And you got it. In 20 minutes we had that. We had it all worked out. So you go ahead and take your screenshot of that I don't think I need to zoom in. I think you can see it all. Let me move it and zoom into sections of it. How's that? And you can see that. Take a screenshot and then move down here and take a screenshot. I've got my Kills 3 on my board and I put one coat, and now I'm transferring this pattern. Well, I'm not really transferring it, I guess. In a sense, I'm not using carbon paper or anything like that. So here's the pattern, and I'm just going to draw it on my board exactly how I drew it on this paper pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my grid, because I like drawing a grid. Other people use points, so you have to just find what you like doing and stick with that. It's not wrong or right. The end result is going to come out the same. But I like drawing a grid, so that's how I show you guys how I do it. So the first thing I'm doing is just marking every 2 inches. I'm making a tick mark. That's how I'm drawing my grid. I told you earlier that I needed 12. Right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I need 12 blocks horizontally and vertically. So I'm going to make my 2-inch tick marks all the way around, and then I'm going to connect them to make my blocks, and then I'll be back. Now, if you got it the first time when I was drawing that pattern on that paper, then you can just fast forward this because you can do it yourself. But some folks had asked me to actually draw it on the board, so I'm just trying to insert that in there for them. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. We're going to draw our Grinch hand on our board just like we drew it on that paper pattern. So just look at the paper pattern for the line by line directions. I just want to show you how I'm drawing it onto the board. Now I've got my grid on the board, and I'm using heat erasable pens. Now, you don't have to use that. You can use maybe a number 3 pencil or something light. Folks have used colored pencils and painted over it. I can't get them to erase, so you just paint over it, and I think that works. But I like these heat erasable pens. I can use my little heat gun. Got paint all over it, but you can see it. This is not the worst one. The other one, you can't even see the purple on it anymore. But it's just a little heat tool, and I can just get rid of my lines with that heat tool, and they don't come back because I paint over everything. Or if I've got a lot of lines, like down in here on this pattern, there'll be a lot of lines, and I can just take a damp cloth and wipe it off. It just goes away. It's just real easy, and I like it. So here we go. We're just going to draw this on our board. And again, okay, I'm not sure if you could see this or not because it's really light. My lines are really light on here, so I'm not sure you can see it. But I'll show it to you as I'm taping it up and as I go along. I'm going to get the colors and show you what colors I intend to use. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to show you my mistakes too when I make them. I started to peel the tape off. I felt it and it was cool, so I started to peel it off. Probably because I didn't press the tape down. Remember, I forgot to do that. And then I had 5 coats on, but they were real thin. It wanted to start pulling on me. So I took my razor, and I put it all the way up against the tape like that and start pulling. But I've decided, and I did that here, so I saved it. But instead of pulling that tape up right now, I'm going to let that sit there for a while and just get real good and settled, and then I'm going to try it again. But that's the thing, don't get in too big of a hurry, because if you just rip that tape up, especially on a dark color like that, you can make a mess. I'm telling you. But I think this was caused by me not pressing down hard enough, or I didn't press it down at all except for with my finger. So I always use a card to burnish your tape down, and you'll get a better result that way. But like me, and I forgot, it's no big deal. We'll fix it as we go. But that's the way to stop that pull, is just use that razor. Alright, I'll be back in a minute when I feel more comfortable pulling that off. Let me get you in focus so I don't forget to do that when I come back. Now let's tape up the hand, and I'll show you how I do some of this taping. If you see the finger right here, see how thin it is? It just pointy. It's not very wide at all. So the 1/2 inch tape won't work very well for that. You could tape it on each side, I guess, but when you go to, and I'll do that for now as I'm painting that, but when I start to paint the background and try to tape that finger up, that might give me some problems, and I'll show you a couple of ways around that might make things a little bit easier for you. But for now, I'm just going to tape around the hand, and that's not any kind of fancy taping. It's just cutting with your razor. You seeing that or not? Because I think I'm getting in the way. Didn't quite hit that mark, did I? See that? Wrong mark. Did you see what I did? Y'all saw it. You was trying to holler at me, wasn't you? I taped it on the grid line instead of my mark. You see these things? If anybody needs any of them, I've got about 60 or 70 of those things. Now I just have to find my bucket. What I did with it. I had it stuck somewhere. Got some of them. We're getting there. I like cutting with this thing. I think I've showed you another little tool that I found. I've showed you this in another video, but if you've got like you're doing a bigger barn, well, here it is. Can you see it? Like if you're doing a bigger barn quilt, or you've got a long, much wider place that you have to cut, like a wider place that you have to cut, then this razor is just wonderful for that. So I've got 2 or 3 of them I found at a place. It was in Pigeon Forge. It was some kind of tool shop up there in Pigeon Forge, and we went in and I found these. Okay. Let me keep taping this up. And I think you've seen enough of that. And I'm just going to go around and tape, and I'll be right back. See how I've got it all taped up now? You can actually see the fingers better. And you can design yours the way you want to, but this is the way it worked out for me and the folks that was in the class helping me design this. If you watch the other video, I've got another video and it says something about a Grinch hand. But anyway, life happened and things got in the way, and I never got to put that video up. But you can look back at it and I tell a little bit more about how it happened to come about. Anyway, this is a pattern that I came up with, and I'm sharing it with you guys. And I'm going to paint that hand green. It's going to be Lime Passion, because that's the closest color to that Grinch that I had, and it worked out pretty good the last time. And I'm going to get rid of all my blocks now with my little heat tool. I would take a damp cloth and get rid of these two, but I don't want to I don't want to wait for it to dry before I start painting. And I can't forget to press my tape down. I got to remember to do that. Okay. I think that's got it. I think that's got it. Now let me get something to press that down with. I'm just using an old card, any kind of a grocery store card or whatever kind of cards you have. If you work puzzles and you got one of those spreaders for the glue, you could use that. All kind of stuff, just as long as it's a stiff card. I've saw people using the end of their paintbrush. I've seen all kind of things, so don't think you have to rush out and buy anything, but I love these cards. And from that Lole Vefe company that I get the bottles from, they have these little spreaders, and that works good too. Actually, if you had a big barn quilt, that might even work better. All right, let me put my 3 coats on and we'll have the hand done. I got the hand painted, and I ended up putting 4 coats on it. I didn't like the way you could see through the paint because I put thin coats, and so I put that 4th coat on it. Now I like it. I'm going to start peeling it off and see what happens. You see this wide tape? I just can't hardly stand throwing it away, so I'm going to stick it over here and probably use it when I'm taping all this up to paint the background. Well, there you go. I got a board over here that I usually stick this stuff on. But I think since it won't be but a little bit before I start using it again, I'll just keep it over here. All right. Well, take that down. It just all come off, didn't it? Okay, let me finish pulling. This part will be boring for you. Okay, there's the hand. Now let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the sleeve. Let me show you. We're gonna do this sleeve this time. And you know, all that's got to be taped up again when we paint the background. We can do it. Let me get that sleeve taped up and painted. And I want to show you how I tape up this circle. You see how I flip the tape around and use the other side? That works really well. But the thing is, you've got to let that paint dry good or it'll flake off on another color. With me having this yet to paint, it's not going to matter that much if it flakes a little bit, but I don't think that it will. So I've got the sleeve, and now I'm going to tape up this ornament here after I move all that other stuff out of the way. Okay, here's what I do when I'm trying to tape up a circle. Now, other folks have different ways, and I'm just showing you what I do. You see this tape is like 1/8 inch. This is 1/4 inch. And it's that same Scotch tape delicate surface. And this, I just found a whole bunch of it on Amazon. And it really works well, getting in little tight places. But what I like about it is that I can bend it around. I'm not sure you're seeing it from my fingers. But I'm trying to keep it in the frame, y'all. And you can still see. Oh, Willa, what are you doing, darling? You alright? Oh, here, baby, let me get it. Here, I get it. I get it. Is that all? No, you got two more right here. She took part of my tape with her. She had it on her foot. You silly little girl. Little biting cat. She bites me all the time. Man. I'm trying to get this over here. Boy, I'm having a time. I'm trying to get it over here where you can see it. Alright. Something twisted around on me. Get this back over here. Okay. Can you see that? We're going to press it down good. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not that good at being real careful about going around there. Let me get this. This is going to be like a little shine. Like a little, the light reflecting it. Alright, now there you go. So I got that. And what I'm going to do with some of these scrap pieces, I'm just going to put it around here. because I don't trust myself. I know I'm gonna mess up. You see what I'm doing? Okay, I have the 3 coats is what it took for that. So it's starting to pour rain. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It sounds wonderful. Okay, I'm going to pull this off and hopefully I don't show you a total disaster. And you know, the only thing we like now is putting the black on here. Now, you could probably put any color you wanted to. Should have started that way to start with. Now let's see how that worked out. I missed my mark right there, but it's still round. Still looks fine to me. Now let me get, if I could find a little pick. And I'll get rid of this piece. That's going to be our little shiny spot on our ornament. Okay, now I'm going to tape it all up, and I know you don't want to watch that, but I'm going to tape it all up, and like I said, I'm using limousine leather. That's the black color that I'm using. I imagine you could use a dark gray or maybe even a flat black. I'm not sure, but I'm using this limousine leather. And I'll show you, well, I think I'll paint this before I tape it all up and paint the black. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. And for that little, the hook that the ornaments on, you know, the little hanger, I am going to use, I had this little cup left of engagement silver, and I'm going to put a little bit of that glitter in it and just paint this little bit. So I'll get that done and then tape it all up, and I'll show you when it's almost finished. Well, I'll come back. I'll take that back. When I get that finished, this is going to be the last thing that I do is put the extra glitter on here. So I'll show it to you. Okay, you see how earlier I talked about I was going to show you how I tape up these fingers. Well, because I drew the fingers all the way out to the end of the board, it's a little bit more forgiving. You see how, now this tape, show you. All right, here you go. So I've taped this around. But instead of using some kind of skinny tape to tape up this little thin part right here, because I drew them all the way out to the end, I've got it all wrapped. I can just take this tape, and this tape that I'm reusing, and just put it down across this finger. And I can paint this section. And I can paint this section at the same time. But I'm not going to have a ridge in my paint because it goes all the way out to the end. If that finger stopped right here and I tried to do this, I would have a ridge in my paint when I started to paint the other section, if that makes sense. Some of you may have done that before. I know I did when I first started. But anyway, let me show you how to get rid of this using just a soft cloth. And let me find the water. Right, this is just a regular paper towel. And instead of using a heat tool, if you need to, you can just use a damp cloth or a damp paper towel. And that got rid of all those lines. I just love my heat pens. Y'all know I do. And I'm going to paint this section next so I can go ahead and get rid of those. And instead of that, using that heat tool all the way around here, instead of using it all the way around, I'm just going to take this damp cloth and go all the way around it. It makes it quicker. Okay, I'm going to paint this. I'm using the Limousine Black. And before I forget to mention it, I put the glitter in this paint too, but while this coat was wet, I just sprinkled a little bit on it. Now, I don't expect it all to stay. It's, you know, glitter. Glitter's going to get everywhere. But it'll make a little shine for us on our ornament. Alright, let me get finished putting this background on and I'll be back. I wanted to show you this while I was taping up all the rest of it. When I came to this, you see there's no stopping point. I'll have a ridge around, well, you can't see that. I'll have a ridge here if I stop painting somewhere. So I'm going to have to tape this up while I'm taping this up. You see what I mean? Because if I stop anywhere, I'm going to have that ridge. So I've got to cover that little part up right here on its own. I hope I made that clear. If you stop in the midstream, you're going to have a ridge, and you don't want that. So I pulled out my little tape. And so I'm going to, this is that little skinny tape. Now, you don't have to have this skinny tape if you don't want to. You can cut your, whatever size tape you have, you can cut it to fit. Just cut it into little tiny strips. And just make sure your edge is on the outside. But you can cut whatever you want to. Whatever size tape you have, you can make it fit there. I just happen to have this little skinny tape, and it comes in. It's just so handy when you're trying to tape up a little something like that little skinny finger. If I had to do that. Or something like this. It's just handy to have around. Alright, I'm going to finish taping all that. And put 2 more coats over here at the fingers. And I know you don't want to see all that. But stay tuned till the end, if you will. And if you're still hanging in there with me, I hope you subscribe and hit the notification bell. That'll help me grow my channel. Thank you. See how I taped up that ornament? I used that skinny tape again. And so I don't mess it up, I'm gonna do the same thing I did a while ago. I'm just gonna stick some of these used pieces around on there just to give myself a little bit more wiggle room. See that? You see, that's what I did a while ago. So I'm just going to go all the way around there. And that's what I'm going to do. I lost my daylight, so I know I've got a big shiny streak going right through the middle of that barn quilt, but I just wanted to show you that I did have the first coat of black on. And as soon as I get the other two coats on, I'll be right back so you can see the finished product. But what I was going to say too was, you know, I like using my little heat tool here, but there's just so much of that. Unless I'm in a hurry, I'm not going to use it on that. I'm just going to let it dry by itself between each coats. And I hope that I can have this video up tomorrow. And I'm going to look and see who the person was who asked me to do this. Because he gave me a good idea. I was going to do a Christmas tree. So he had seen the video of that first video I did of that Grinch hand that I didn't finish. He had seen that one, so he asked me if I had the pattern. And I thought, well, that'll be a good one to do right now, because next week's Thanksgiving. And folks will start putting up their barn quilt, Christmas barn quilts. So, I'll be back. Go feed the cat. You know, I said I was going to show you my goof ups too. See if I can zoom in on this to where you can see it. Show you what I did. I was coming around there, putting that second coat of black. And look at this. I had already painted that black. And I come around there and put that brush right across there. And got black on my green. Now I've got to fix it. But that happened. See it? Anyway, I'm going to fix that and let this coat dry. Put one more and we'll be finished. Sorry, I'm messing up the camera. All right, y'all, I finished. You see it? I think you could see it okay. And what I did here, this ornament, okay, you know, I put the glitter in the paint. And then I painted it with the 3 coats. And to make the glitter pop up a little bit more, can you see that? All I did was took my card and just kind of went over the surface of it a little bit. Like that. And it makes the glitter show up a little bit more. Now when I put the 3 coats of spar urethane on it, I'll put 3 coats on it and that glitter will still show up. So, I hope you like that. Now let me show you my colors one more time. I used Showstopper for the red, and I put glitter in the Showstopper for the ornament. I used Limousine Black for my background, and lime passion for the Grinch's hand. And then for the white sleeve, I used ultra white. And then for the ornament the holder for the ornament, I used engagement silver and just put glitter in it. But you could use any gray. It doesn't matter. All right, I hope you like that. And you want me to show you the pattern one more time? In case you stuck with me to the end. Here's the pattern. And you can take a screenshot of that if you hadn't already. There you go. Let me move my hand so you can take a better picture. I won't have my thumbs in it. All right. Thank you for watching. Hope you subscribe, and I hope you hung on to the end to help me with my watch hours. And thank you all, and I will see you in the next video, which I hope will be a Christmas tree. See y'all later.